Welcome everybody back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson.
I'm a 15 PCA.
And this week we're going to start out with TV news, and it looks like Amazon is in early talks to adapt The Lord of the Rings into a TV series. And when I first heard about this, I thought, oh, they're going to tell the other tales, like the Silmarillion. Yeah. There's a bunch of other books related to Lord of the Rings
stories, that
aren't necessarily in the trilogy.
No.
But I'm reading this from comingsoon.net, and it says Variety reports that Warner Brothers and the Tolkien estate have been quietly shopping around the television series based off of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings book series. And after interest from multiple parties, Amazon has emerged as the frontrunner for the series' home. The outlet notes that there's no deal has been set and that the talks are still early. However, Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos is reportedly personally involved in the negotiation for the series. And this makes it kind of sound like they're going to remake the books, the original trilogy.
That would be a terrible mistake.
We already have the movies that are they're great.
There's no reason to.
We don't need to retell that story. Tell other stories.
Yeah.
Even the story that's told in the video games, The Shadow of Mordor, The Shadow of War, that's a pretty good storyline with Talion and Celebrimbor and all those guys. That's a pretty interesting story to tell. And they're going to just rehash the movies?
Yeah, I think that's a bad idea.
That is a huge mistake.
There's no reason to, first of all.
It's already so good. It's not like these movies came out like in the late 70s and 80s. No, these are great movies with great special effects. They doesn't need to be retold.
Well, I will say from a technical standpoint, they weren't bad, but that would be the parallel how they made the Lord of the Rings movies when they had the cartoon movies, Lord of the Rings, in the past.
Yeah.
They were good, but the animation was kind of dated.
Yeah.
See, that needed kind of an update. There's no reason to get an update
because it's already live action, so you're going to go from live action movie to live action TV series.
Well, it's not going to look as good?
And it's just going to be like, you're going to see an Aragorn, that's not my Aragorn. You're going to say Legolas, that's not my Legolas.
Or Gimli,
that's not my Gimli. And I think they're going to just run into more problems because I know the books are huge. I've read the books, and there's a lot of stuff they left out in the movies. And I can understand them wanting to tell all those things, Radagast and all those characters that didn't show up in the original trilogy movies. But I think it's so unnecessary.
Yeah, I think you're rehashing something that doesn't be rehashed, especially when there's other stories to tell. Like you said, there's more material that weren't covered in the movies that you can do. Just do those.
Yeah,
stories.
and the Return of the King won 11 Oscars. Okay, that swept every Oscar it was nominated for. And you think this TV series is going to do better? I don't know. It just feels like
it's going to be worse. Automatically, it's going to be worse off the bat.
If this thing, again, this said early talk, so this thing is years away, at least a year away at the very minimum. I'll give it a chance because I love Lord of the Rings. I love the fantasy world that Tolkien built. And it just seems weird to me that they're going to retell that original book series. They really needed to. There's other stories to tell.
Yeah, I mean, there is.
Why go back to the same ones?
There's stories again off the Grey, you can say. Yeah, there's other kinds of
stuff. They can even do like prequel type stuff. Maybe it's not canon, but if they're talking with the actual Tolkien estate, maybe they can build some canon there, like how Star Wars is done with like Star Wars Rebels and like other side stories. Maybe they can do that kind of stuff.
It's my pet peeve when they go back in the past, but I think in this case there's so much there.
There's a lot of lore there.
It wouldn't bother me with Lord of the Rings. It really wouldn't. Because other franchises that bothers me, Star Wars, Star Trek, but this wouldn't bother me.
Because there's not a lot of Lord of the Rings stuff out there.
Yeah.
There hasn't been multiple TV series and multiple movies. And so I really thought they should probably either use the games and tell the story of Talion, because it's a pretty cool story. And it fits in there. Some people got kind of mad at what they did with Shelob in the second game and everything, but it kind of makes sense. But to retell that original trilogy, I think it's going to be a complete mess.
Oh, yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it. It'll be a disaster making, and no one wants to see it. Yeah. No one's asking for it. Nobody.
Ugh. Yeah, moving on, we have